You guys want to get some coffee or something?
Can I get a cup of coffee? Black? Can't you see we talking? White?
Even little kids in Mexico drink coffee.
Well, I'm not a little kid in Mexico, okay?
That is the best coffee I've ever tasted.
A damn fine cup of coffee.
You want a cup of coffee?
No coffee.
Coffee drinker, huh?
Maybe we could grab some coffee?
Coffee! Coffee, 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 coffee!
God damn, Jimmy. That's some serious gourmet shit. Me and Vincent would have been satisfied with some freeze-dried Taster's Choice, right? And he springs this serious gourmet shit on us.
Yeah.
Good morning.
I'm drinking coffee like a Mexican child. So, good morning. Oh, Martin is here. Good morning, Martin.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning, John.
Morning.
I don't know if anybody else is going to make it, but this is going to be a very specific episode. We're going to attempt to watch Christopher Cooksey's movie, The Quantum Terror. Going to try to, even though he's, and I still don't have it in this is what I was needing, something that says permission or something granted to be put into our video description. I just don't think it's going to matter. I mean, if there's stuff in there they're going to gank, they're going to gank it.
I'm gonna turn it down. So
I'm gonna what are you, fucking Jackie Gleason?
That wouldn't be so bad now, would it?
No, except he's dead.
That part sucks.
Yeah, that's a slight drawback.
Okay, I'll just settle for being me. So yeah, I own, for anyone watching, I own 100% of this movie. I did not sign away rights. I did not ink a deal with a distributor that says I am only partially owner of this, or I have to get permission from a distributor. I self-distributed through Film Hub and got this movie on Filmzy, Tubi, and Amazon Prime, and it's going to be on a bunch of other streaming services, but I am 100% owner. So if anyone ganks you for the visual content, it would be me, which obviously I'm not going to do. But there are some licensed music bits in there that I have that I myself have gotten ganked, even though I have the license to it. So I'm going to turn the film down for a lot of parts, and we're just going to talk over it because that's the way it is. But if you want to hear it with the sound, or if you've already watched it on one of these platforms, that's where you go to get it.
All right. You want to give us a description?
Yeah. Well, first of all, before we get started with that, Gerry, I want to say thank you very much for not only constantly having me on your show, and not only just promoting this movie and also Escape from Planet Omega 12, but just for generally kind of really putting your money where your mouth is in terms of promoting new content. This is something that I said to Gerry, by the way, before we started the show, but I absolutely mean this. I get a lot of people who I hear saying they want original content. They want to support original content. But as soon as you actually put in the effort to give them what they want, they just ignore you. You say, hey, here it is. Or even people who say, you know what? Let me know when it's ready. I'd love to blast it out. I'd love to help you. And you go, great. And so you dedicate time and resources to getting them stuff that they can blast out, only to be met with silence. But Gerry and Keith and Pop Culture Minefield have taken their audience that they've taken time and energy to cultivate and all this great stuff that they do with the live stream. And they've actually dedicated it to taking a chance on new creators like myself. And I know that they do it with other people. So it's really great that, Gerry, you do that. And it's really great to everybody who supports this channel that they put their time and effort behind that. So thank you, everybody. And after we're done, I'm going to have some words about, how we can continue to do that. But I think this is great. not just for me, but for anybody else for independent creation. So that's my little verklempt spiel. I didn't actually get verklempt. I should have sprayed some water in my eyes. Got canned air. Will that do the trick? No, it's going to blow my contact lenses out. So The Quantum Terror is a Lovecraftian horror movie done in the tradition of, inspired by, Alien, The Thing, a lot of John Carpenter, David Cronenberg, David Lynch, strange stuff. I wanted to create a movie that took my love of Jungian psychology, because I love psychology, and kind of blend it with my feelings about how we are living in such a reductionist culture at the moment. I kind of, and part of that, there's a little bit of a joke in there with quantum physics, because I watch the Science Channel, which does a lot of quantum physics stuff, but it's really like reductionist kind of fantasy tabloid ideas of what quantum physics is. So the general population's understanding of it is kind of become this like magical hoodoo that can be applied to anything, like Ant-Man and the Wasp. I think there's a joke like, what, you just add quantum to everything now? So there's a lot of I wanted to create a piece of art and entertainment and see what people get from it, that some people might mistake as woke, but I think if you kind of read into the story, you'll see that it's not. And as we watch it, if you haven't seen it, you might understand what I mean by that. But yeah, mainly I wanted to create something with practical effects, miniatures, puppets, monsters, actual monsters, not like an unmasking of a man like Scooby-Doo style at the end, like real monsters, real craziness. And I hope it's doing well on video on demand. So I hope more people embrace it for what it is. Was that what we were looking for?
I guess so, but what year did you copyright this?
I did the copyright in 2016, and then 2000 and when did it come out? 2022 as well. So
this year, okay,
yeah.
All right. I just wanted to make sure to put we have exclusive permission by the owner of the Quantum Terror, copyright 2022, Christopher Cooksey, to show the film in its entirety.
Sure do.
So that is now in our video description down below.
And I'm saying it out loud as well. Pop Culture Minefield has complete permission to screen this movie for this watch party, and however long they think it's appropriate to keep it up online.
Gotcha. Thank you. All right.
Thank
Hopefully
you.
That'll work. Jacob is here. Let's see who all is here. Let me
do the call outs. I see Scribe.
First of all, Monkey Jeebus was first to comment here. Monkey Jeebus, thank you. Come again. Penny is here. She was second. Scott Lewis, our good friend. I will be having dinner with Scott tonight.
Love that man.
John Das Wolfen. Das Wolfen is, of course, what was the one you said your roommate used to say in German? Or fake German?
What, Nosferatu Bubengraben?
Yeah, Bubengraben. So I thought that was funny. But anyway, with Das Wolfen, let's see if I have it here. Yes, I do. I have it for you.
Before we begin, would you like to touch my monkey?
There we go. Alatar is here. Good morning, Dr. Dragon. Of course, the lovely Anima Confusa, the love of my life. D. Bud Martin. Kyle Zax is here. Deleted Scenes is here. Hey, Stephen. Let's see. Am I missing anybody yet? Nope. Doing good. Scribe Light is here. Scribe, how are you doing, my friend? Jacob the Critic, a close friend of mine. Vin Zinger, a.k.a. El Otaku, a.k.a. the Weeb Pillar. I like that name. I don't know why. That's fucking cool. Let me pop that up there. Look at that. So we're going to watch it. Zacharot315 is here. Good morning, Zacharot. Now, I will tell you guys, we're probably going to be talking over the film. I might ask questions. So whenever we do, it's up to you, Chris, if you want to pause it.
Yeah, I don't mind. It's one of those things where I think just I'm gonna talk over it for sure. You know, if the conversation
director commentary,
yeah, exactly. I'm gonna do director's commentary. So if the conversation gets too far behind the movie, I might pause it.
Okay.
And I also would really love to encourage questions from the chat if you've seen the movie already, or if not, you want to just ask what's going on there. I want to talk about everything, the meaning behind the movie, or at least what I think the meaning behind the movie is. I like that other people have their own interpretations, and also how I made the film, because everyone should know this movie was made almost 100% in my house. All the scenes where they go underground, that was completely done either with miniatures or in my garage. There was no actual underground location. And if you know the average size of a 2-car garage, you might wonder how that was done. So I want to be able to talk about that too.
Very cool.
So definitely encouraging questions from the chat. I don't want people getting bored or feeling like, I want participation, because I love the chat. The chat is awesome.
By the way, I just subscribed to Pop Culture Minefield yesterday, Gabe. Very cool. Thanks, man.
Oh, cool.
Well, there you go. That is the gods of YouTube at work, because we lost a viewer yesterday when they made the mistake of being a dickhead on my fucking page. And
Benzinger, thank you.
I have a basic rule, man. Because Keith and I absolutely don't agree on a lot of things. We never get mean, we never argue, and we respect each other's opinions. And he and I both know that we respect one another for our knowledge of what's going on in Hollywood, and we're both very interconnected with the scoops going on in Hollywood by one of the number one scoopers in Hollywood. And when somebody comes to my page, mocks something that we post when I said something, and like, well, who's your source? Well, if they really knew who we were, they would know who our source is. So we don't hide who our sources are. But the person pissed me off because he took a shitty attitude with me last night, and I blocked him. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Get off my page. I will not tolerate bullying of any kind. And if you can't out-dick a dick. I'm a dick. I will dick you to fucking death. No, I don't mean that with my penis. Although I could probably do that too.
Hashtag backdoor cherry.
Phrasing.
By the way, are you keeping up on Archer?
No, I haven't actually. I love Archer, but I ducked out around the time that they started doing the Coma Dreams thing. It wasn't that I didn't like the idea. I just thought the humor wasn't hitting. Have they come back?
They have their moments. And the jungle in the 1940s or whatever that was supposed to be, I don't know, was pretty good. I like that one with the Island Clipper. They're doing nods to classic stuff. Like that was clearly a nod to Golden Monkey, and I enjoyed it, but they're back to, but they'll never say ISIS ever again.
Of course not.
And
no.
It makes me sad because, I believe that the one good thing that Obama did was try to switch it from being called ISIS to ISIL. That way we could have Archer as well as the Secrets of ISIS. But he failed because...
well, he wasn't doing it for Archer. If he had gone on the news...
Yes, he was, damn you!
If he had gone on the news and said, look, I really don't want to ruin Archer, so can we just call it ISIL? I would have been 100%.
I would have been 100% behind it too, but anyway, I like to joke about it.
No, it's a good show. I collect the DVDs of the older episodes, but the original writers left, and I thought that the new writers just didn't quite land it because they weren't, they tried to
they weren't as rich in the comical writing because there were layers to Archer's comedy.
Yeah,
and
there were
some really interesting setups that you would see from the very beginning, and they knew how to work in it. And no, I don't think the writers currently going are as good as the ones we had for the first few seasons. Well, I think the minute he went into the coma, which is about the time they started changing writers. The writing changed a little bit and less funny. It's story rich. Don't get me wrong. I think there's more story today than there was back then, but it's not as funny.
The pinnacle for me was the episode where they what's the name of his butler? I forget. But
yeah, he died.
Yeah, but when they had the butler, the episode where they had to protect the Pope, and they realized his butler was a spitting image of the Pope. That episode has me in tears every time I watch it.
and he's a junkie, the butler.
Yeah,
and just man, that show just nailed it. But we have Mallory's dead now. The butler is dead in real life and then on the show. So, well, actually, on the show, I think they say she went off for a happy life and left him.
Yeah, they did a thing where she ducked out, and then they showed her on the beach with her husband, and they used old recordings for that, which I thought that was a good, classy way to handle it, actually. But yeah, it's one of those things where I feel like there are great shows that maybe try and go past their moment, and it's not that
the thing is, the fandom doesn't want it to die.
Yeah.
And so they keep pushing for more. And as long as people are watching, they're going to keep making them. Anima and I tried to watch the latest episode. Then I thought, actually, I interrupted that Anima because I felt like it was a bad moment for you to be introduced to these characters. So I want to go back and watch. I want her to see season 1 in particular.
Yeah.
And start from the beginning with her because she's actually not a fan of animation. And so I've got her to watch it with me because I love animation. I'm an artist. I love animation. I wanted to work as an animator.
And this is, a good thing about Archer as well is it's this moment in the what do you call it? Like it's a moment in time where there's new animation technology, and Archer decided.
Well, Frisky Dingo is where that really formed, because Frisky Dingo was the best because they had used similar animation styles when they did C-Lab 2021, and it was not quite there yet. And but then when they did Frisky Dingo, that was when they decided, yep, we can do more. We can do better, stronger, faster. And that's when Archer stepped up to the plate.
It's the same. It's the same technology. It's like with South Park, where they first did it with paper cutouts, and I believe both Archer and South Park now do their animation in Maya. But again, it was like they found the right style at the right moment with the right technology.
Yeah, they technically use a 3D animation program.
Yeah, that's Maya.
Yeah, and it's because a lot of people don't know what Maya is, so I'm trying to explain it to them.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Idiot. Just mess with you, buddy. Oh, he's got the Popeye look. Yeah, read between the lines. So they discovered that they could use the same software that was used for Jurassic Park. That's how they phrased it. We're using the same program they used to make Jurassic Park to make this show. And they did photo shots of everything. And it's very similar still in how they do Archer. Because it's not Flash animation, but it's the exact same technique that they use in Flash. They're just using it in a 3D environment.
Yeah, they've upped its versatility, and again, that's what I love about animation. And this is
6 Days to Air is one of the best documentaries on how they make that show.
Oh, I haven't seen that. 6 Days to Air. I'm definitely going to check that out.
It is the Apple, the iPad / Human Centipede episode.
Why?
You have to watch the episode because it's fucking hilarious. My favorite moment is Kyle Broslovsky is his mouth is sewed to the anus of a Japanese man. And the moment when he says, "Oh, do I eat," like something simple like pudding, chocolate pudding? Oh, do I eat the cuttlefish? And, clearly Kyle is yelling pudding. And the Japanese man says, "Okay, the cuttlefish." Because it's going to be gross when it comes out. And it's just so fucked up. The entire thing. And the whole thing is based on nobody reads the contract, the fine print in the contract. Nobody ever reads it when you agree to sign up for a device. And so they state that in the fine print, it says that you could be turned into a human centipede. Fucking crazy episode. And they shot it, they wrote it, everything, 6 days before it went to air. And we're working on it literally the last day.
Yeah, I knew that, and that's kind of become their MO. But this is what again, with Escape from Planet Omega 12, it's kind of, it's different, but it's kind of what I'm trying to do is just, push the envelope of how you create animation and almost make it its own thing that's unique onto itself. And that also goes for the pipeline as well, because, I see people spending millions of dollars on animation that doesn't do anything new or interesting when there are these ways to, like Archer is a budget show. South Park is a budget show. But they're finding ways to make it fresh and interesting and have real texture to it. And that's
the thing that amazes me with those guys before we go on to this is how they get a contract each year for more money and less episodes. It's pure profit for those guys. Pure profit. They're geniuses. By the way, good morning, Magitech Mags. It's good to see you. Hope you're feeling better today.
Good morning.
So let's do a setup here. And is the video ready to play?
It's ready to play.
That screen.
I just wanted to...
Your Indiegogo.
Yeah.
Can you share the link in the private chat?
Yes. Let me do that really quick.
And then either John or Martin can post that out.
Hold on a second. Do that. Now, I want to say, while I'm getting the link, I want to say something to the people in the chat because I need your help. Because what we are doing is I have I'm talking and clicking at the same time. That's never good. This project, as you can see, stalled. And it is, it's stalled right out of the gate. There's still 20 days left. I refuse to believe that people don't want this project. It's just the methods that I thought were going to get this project out there didn't work. And part of that's my fault because I tried to apply the same methods that I did for promoting the Quantum Terror, and that did work. But the thing is that, like I said, 20 days is still plenty of time. And what I'm finding is there are a lot of people out there on Twitter and have different channels that I think would be interested in it. But because it's just me sending a link going, hey, can you check this out? They're ignoring me. But I think if there's other people saying, hey, this looks really interesting, you should check it out. If they see it enough times, it's like, they'll start to realize, oh, this is actually something that exists and people are talking about it. So, if there are YouTubers or people on Twitter that have a large audience that you think would be interested in it and want to get it out there, I was talking about people like Razor Fist and Ethan Van Sciver or Eric July. I mean, they're doing their own things, but there are a lot of people out there, Clownfish, Bounding into Comics, Iron Age Media, all these different people, the Critical Drinker, that I think, do want to see projects like this, but they just go by and, because people are sending them stuff all the time. I understand that. But I think if you guys are able to tweet it out, tag people on it, share it with people that you think can help to get the word out, I think we can do this. And of course, and Gerry, you got my word here, everybody in the chat, make a list of everyone that helped out and make sure that their names are not only in the credits of the movie, but in the credits of any behind the scenes that I release or updates that I release. because I know you guys have been so helpful and believed in it, and I really appreciate you. And that's all I'm going to say about it. I still think 20 days is enough time. I'm floundering a little with how to get the word out. I think you guys can help. And I hope that seeing the Quantum Terror today, you see that some of these techniques that we're talking about and some of these kind of motivations we have for making such a, pushing the envelope of what the technology can do or what the art form can do, like Archer, South Park, or anything else, can create some really great things. And anyway, that's my appeal to you. I love you guys no matter what. So thank you very much.
And the name of the film is Escape from Omega 12, right?
Escape from Planet Omega 12. It's part of my sci-exploitation line. Sci-exploitation is just all the different stories I want to tell, taking old school kind of retro rocket style sci-fi and grindhouse and meshing them together, whether it be animated stories or live action shorts or whatever it is. It's something I'm going to be doing for a very long time. And I will say this, if this Indiegogo fails, which I don't want to think about it failing, I don't want to be negative, but I'm not going to give up on doing this. I will find a way, one way or another. I will make this happen. But I'd much rather it not be, the slow, torturous over years, nobody sees what I'm doing type of way. I hope it's this is successful and we start creating awesome content that infuses pop culture with new and different sci-fi. Because every time a streaming service or a studio says we're doing something, we're pushing the envelope, we're reversing expectations or subverting expectations, they do the exact opposite. They play it safe. They don't subvert any expectations except our expectation of it maybe being good. So I want to do that. I want to actually create new and different things that, they may be on a budget, but they're the kind of things that, back in the 80s or 70s, 80s, 90s, when there were independent theaters and midnight movies and people went to little venues to check out obscure things or, used to go to the record store or whatever, all of that's kind of gone away because nobody's seeking it, because the video on demand companies are just giving them tons and tons of the same content. And it's just, it's too easy to just turn it on and flip through it and then fall asleep to it. So anyway, I'm going to ramble because, I want to.
It's good. It's good because you gave me time to do something special. Hey, Martin, sorry.
Yes.
Let me put us all back up on here. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get you all center screen there and then leave you there like with nothing to say. And then we're talking and you can't see us. I don't know. That's fucking funny. I'd love to do that. Just like put somebody else on center screen and just like make them run the show. Yeah, we're here. We're here. I'm actually getting ready to do a share out to tag some of my oh my God, what are you, Jack LaLanne now? What the fuck are you?
Got to show up for the ladies in chat.
Lifting weights for the ladies in the chat. That's
lifting weights. So here we go. I'm tagging Bleeding Fool, Midnight's Edge, Bounding into Comics. Who else should I tag on this, Martin? John?
Iron Age Media.
At Iron Age Media. Who else should I tag? Come on, guys. I've got John and Chris tagged at Bleeding Fool and Bounding.
Critical Drinker, Razorfish.
Oh, Cosmic.
Yeah.
Because I'm friends with Matt McGloin. I've known him for a long time. Cosmic Book News, Matt McGloin.
What about the Friday Night Tights guys? Nerderotic.
He doesn't read anything I post, even if I tag him. He doesn't give two shits what's going on with us. He got the joke. He laughed at it when I said, because he had to leave a show right when I was coming on. I said, trading a Gerry for another Gerry. Awesome. The other white meat. And that made him laugh. And that's it. That's the, even though he knows who I am, sort of, because we've talked in the past. Same
Garrett,
thing with
this is
Ethan
what
Van Sciver, but those guys are rolling their own balls of shit, to expect them to ever do any coverage is because they're too busy with their own shit. But I do know that talking to, Bounding into Comics, Bleeding Fool, Cosmic Book News, these are good ones to talk to. I'm going to have to check out more on Iron Age Media.
Yeah, I don't know
and
much
of course,
about them. I just heard about them, but Gerry, again, thank you. This is exactly what I'm talking about, though. You're one of the few people that really put it out there.
Well, I'm an indie creator, and I know what it feels like. So,
well, besides all the shit everyone gives you, you are a good guy, and I think that's why people show up. Let's do an applaud in the chat for Gerry.
I'm all right. Oh no, don't do that. Six is here. She'll find a way to shit on me in a second. You watch. Hi, Six. Good morning. Sean Estep is here. Good morning to you too. Kingsport Cal. Woohoo! Did I see someone say Mexican Iron Man? Is he here?
Oh no, they're talking about to tag them in your post.
God damn it! I've already fucking posted it. You got to say it before I post it while I'm asking.
I figured you just got Mexican Iron Man by default. That's what I get for assuming things.
Yeah. I should also, and anyone who wants to tag me on Twitter, it's C Moonlight Films, at C Moonlight Films.
I'm going to share this one again. Share, quote, tweet. And then I'm going to tag. Mix.
Also, I get the feeling that you guys are all better at social media than I am.
I really suck at it, to be honest with you. I just do it. I
used to be better at it. I've deteriorated. I have social media dementia. Go wandering off the social media stage, shaking hands with invisible people.
Yeah, so Mighty Max, Kingsport Cal, Six, and Sean Estep. Okay, I didn't miss anybody. All right, good.
Thanks, everyone.
Good morning, everybody. She said the magic word. She said the magic word. Here you go, Six, just for you.
Like, wouldn't you know that door would trigger a trap door?
I'm going to start doing like Groucho did on his show, You Bet Your Life, that if somebody says a magic word, the duck would come down. I'm just going to play that every time somebody says back door.
That's a good idea.
They're either going to get tired of saying it or they're going to be more energized in saying it.
I'm going to go with the latter.
I never know. Clobby Doomcock. Those are some really good. Magitech, can you do me a favor? Would you take my post about what I just said with the link to his everything? You'll see it. It's like I think it's the second post I just did. That gives the link to his Indiegogo as well as the link to today's show. And share it out and tag some of them. I already tagged Tom with Midnight's Edge. But go ahead and tag him again. Fuck it.
Thanks. Oh, yeah.
I'm friends with Andre, and I didn't even think of that. I'm going to say something because I'm in a private chat with those guys, including Mikey Sutton. And Mikey Sutton is somebody who maybe could help promote it too. I'll talk to him, see if he can do it.
That'd be
great.
Yeah.
I never expect anything.
Would be nice if Mikey.
Don't go in with expectations. Go in with hope, and that is it. That you'll get anything.
Well, this is the thing. It's like, all these guys have all built their own thing, and I feel entitled to none of it. It's just in the hope.
Yeah, it helps you keep perspective to not expect anything. It really does, and I agree. It's just what I think it is if you push too hard with expectations, you're just basically committing suicide by dragon.
Line up.
And that sucks.
Yeah. Well, not only that, I don't want to, it's like, I want them to see it and be excited about it genuinely. I don't want to beg people to just please put it out there because I'm creating something that I want people to be excited about. If they see it and are not excited about it, then it's me that needs to readjust. Because the call to action that everyone's put forth is what I'm trying to answer. I'm trying to answer in a way that delivers where Hollywood is not. And if I'm not doing that, then absolutely, please ignore me, because that means that I need to go back to the drawing board and do better. But I think this is going to be really good. I've worked really hard on this, and I think it hits all the points that we as an audience feel are lacking. So, but yeah, let's if you're ready, we can dive into this movie. I don't want to hold up the works.
I'm still tagging people. So, but Magitech, I appreciate it. Thanks so much. Any help from you guys? I tagged you 6. Zachariah 315. What's up, dude?
Yeah. And I need a list. I need a list of everyone that in the chat, because I do want to make sure that it's noted that they contributed in this way. Because it's not just about me. It's about, like I said, changing things. Like Doomcock says, we're in a war to save pop culture, and we're all doing it in different ways, and they're all valid.
Well, he's focused on Hollywood too, specifically Star Trek, Star Wars, Doctor Who, and all that shit.
He's a great source. I listen to him all the time though, because I take him what he says, and like I said, he's doing his thing and I'm doing mine. I don't want to try and do his thing because he's better at it. I want to try and focus on where I feel I can make the best difference.
Well, I always say, welcome to Pop Culture Minefield, the illegitimate child of Nerdrotic, Doomcock, and Midnight's Edge. And they even jokingly refer to us as their stepchild.
Yes, we got.
It's Midnight's Edge Junior. That's what they call it.
We just need to get them all on Maury Povich to see who actually is the father.
We're like Nick Jr. We're Midnight's Edge Junior. All right, guys, let's get this party going.
Lined up, yeah.
Get over here to this right now, and I'm
gonna keep it low. If it's too
I'm
loud,
tempted to do it this way, and so you can still hear us, but you need to. There you go. Hit that.
I did.
Boom,
there we
baby.
go. All right.
And I'm going to take down the morning thing logo.
All right. We don't want to have our faces on the side of the screen or we just.
I like the bigger screen. We could do it this way, or we can do it this way.
However, but feel free, guys, to jump in with questions or comments, okay? There we go. I like seeing you guys. Those are beautiful faces, even though Martin's just using an avatar. Beautiful people.
Well, that's because Martin is avatared.
Hey.
But I had fun doing these logos too. Just thank you. I'm saying thank you to my father was a watchmaker. He abandoned it when Einstein discovered time is relative. I would only agree that a symbolic clock is as nourishing to the intellect as a photograph of oxygen to a drowning man. Got to get the Watchman in there. And then a man who is unconscious of himself acts in a blind, instinctive way and is abandoned. In addition, fooled by all the illusions that arise when he sees everything that he is not conscious of in himself coming to meet him from blah, I missed it. You know, these are big quotes, but they're the best ones to really kind of inform you of this.
Well, any from Carl Jung is good with me.
Oh no. It's all going to start over again.
And then I should probably turn down the audio for this part because it's... Sorry, what'd you say? That's what he said. Like I said, I'm afraid that some of this music will get flagged because it's licensed music that I bought. But essentially what's happening here is she's kind of coming out of a trance, which we'll learn about later.
Not sure. I'm sure I've never been to this place before, but never mind.
Watch for the subliminal images as well.
I never really wanted to make a shout out to
Your sister?
So what is this place? This is the last place that you saw her?
Oh, I'm glad I brought you here. You see what I mean.
Actor Matt
You'll be
Blackwell.
Very interested in what I have to show you. Very interesting.
I had him model his performance after Herbert West in Reanimator.
Ah.
And this tunnel is outside of my house at the time. I originally, when I was a kid, I used to run around wash tunnels, and I had a friend with a video camera that I was hoping we could make an alien fan film in these tunnels before fan films were a thing. But now, well, I made my own movie because why do a fan film and not be able to own it? Yeah, volume. I'm gonna have to be.
You know, just let's take a risk. Go ahead, turn it up to loud enough for everybody to hear, and we'll see what happens.
I'm sorry. I just don't know enough about this stuff to understand what you're telling me.
Those mosquitoes are actually dragonflies, and they were swarming my front lawn, so I just grabbed the footage.
And she never aligned you to her passion?
I love dragonflies. Ooh, she's got pointy ears.
I mean, she did. But she stopped when?
When she knew you'd never understand it.
About to make an appearance is Howard the Duck,
Maybe now that your friends are here, you can all
co-creator
put your heads together and glean a little bit of what I'm trying to get you to see.
Val Merrick. How's the volume, guys?
I can hear it fine.
Yeah, it's good.
You again, detective? I'm beginning to think you enjoy listening to me over-explain myself.
Mr. Cold, at this point, I am not interested in anything you have to say, unless you want to make a confession.
Detective, I assure you I've done everything in my power to enlighten you. But...
Save it, Mr. Cold. I'm not here for you. I'm here for her.
This music is original music
Would you mind stepping outside with me?
by Derek Hunt. We wanted to do David Lynch moment.
Yeah, if you say that name too quickly.
That's really his name, though.
Okay, call it whatever you want.
The music playing on the radio is one of my best friend's bands, Frankenstein. Shout out to our sponsor, Pipeline.
It's down the road that way.
I like that. The Pipe Lion.
Mm-hmm. That's a real store here in Texas. Real smoke shop. They kicked in some money for this movie. Here's my my Terrence Malick moment.
You know, I know it's kind of weird driving your girlfriend to see her ex, but we're still friends, and I don't want her to be alone, you know, through all this shit. And besides, I don't know, I have a weird feeling about this Jacob guy.
What did she say about him?
Enough. I just don't want her to be alone with him.
I wanted to do something that kind of made people think of Texas Chainsaw.
How about this one?
The overexposed, grainy film.
Yeah, that's it. There's a wash tunnel. Hey, why
Kind
don't
of
you
give
pull
the
over for a
sense that
second?
they
I wanna
were
take a look at it before we go to the house.
entering into another dimension. Like reality is kind of shifting with the film stock. And there's a little bit of a metatextual, I guess, commentary on film.
Now you said film stock. What did you shoot this on?
I actually shot it on a Canon 7D, so it's not film at all. Canon 7Ds were the
Smells
hot
nice.
thing in the early 2000s. Now
I
they're
remember that smell.
not good
You
enough.
know?
But they used to shoot
They say that the smell is
television
most
episodes.
I
on them.
knew a lot of indie filmmakers in the
I know the
2000s,
smell, I just
early 2000s that
I
shot
don't
on
remember
that.
where from.
Yeah, they're not bad. I think the footage looks good. Little low budget. You see the film stock changing again, and the audio.
It's much stronger in there.
Way of
Are you
cluing you in
Jacob?
that something's weird here.
No. What do you know about Jacob? Please forgive me. The name is Rathbone. Professor Rathbone.
Ah, nice.
Sylvia is one of the brightest students I've ever known. Sylvia and Jacob are students of mine.
Well, thank you so much for your time. And I've got your number, and I'll let you know when I figure something else out.
Sorry, the way that Jacob was behaving on you.
Oh, there's no need to apologize, Miss Carroll. I got his number early on.
Realize this stuff's
You're not
still up on the
responsible for
screen.
him.
There we go.
Friends of yours?
Yeah, if you can take your mouse off to the right, it'll stop doing it.
Okay.
Well, good. Yeah, good. That's good. I'm glad you're not alone in this.
I cut down a lot of exposition out of this
Well,
movie.
I would like to thank you again for your time. I've got to be moving on. And I'd like it if you would let me know how the rest of your day goes with Mr. Cole.
I got some Howard the Duck stuff to do.
And he did.
You really do look like your sister. I mean, I know you're identical and all, but if you hadn't warned me, I'd have declared her found.
We should have Val on the show. He's a great guy. And he's acted in several things with me since this that we're working on. Note the missing eye of Nefertiti.
Grown tired of chasing his tail. Grown so weary of going over and over the same ground with him.
Thanks, Magitech.
Oh, girlfriend's here.
Jacob, this is Lucy and Noah, right?
Noah, yeah. Nice to meet you.
Everything he needs to find her is right here. And I've even told him where Sylvia is, but he insists on continuing to ask me questions as if I haven't said anything at all. Just a small town cop out of his depth.
Oh, you told them. Huh? Then what haven't they found her?
We're not sure. We think that she's hiding.
Hiding? Why? Because she broke up with him?
Oh, you've been talking to our former professor, Rathbone. He's exhibited an extraordinary amount of concern for his old student and quite a lot of animosity towards me, don't you think?
Well, you're not the one who's missing, are you?
I'm sorry. We've gotten off on the wrong foot. I want Sylvia back as much as anyone else, and I can assure you, it's not fun being suspect in everyone's mind.
Lucy, I came to Jacob, not the other way around. I think he's onto something. I think she's had some sort of breakdown, and this stuff she and Jacob were studying is the reason why.
I had someone ask me if I knew quantum physics because of the equations.
I introduced her to these ideas, and she became obsessed. Professor Rathbone particularly likes to point the finger at me for her breakdown, but let's be frank. No one likes it when a girl like Sylvia gets bored with you and chooses to spend more time with someone else. It's no surprise he holds a grudge.
Jacob, all I want to do is find my sister. Will you please explain to them what she was working on in the tunnel?
Well, in layman's terms, she thought she'd found something in one of her books that lined up with her research. She put them together, and then she told me she talked to someone from another dimension.
What?
I'm not saying that really happened, only that's what she thought had happened. She was overworked, not sleeping. I had to keep dragging her out of those tunnels. She was doing these same drawings on the tunnel wall, sleeping in them. And one night she went in and I couldn't find her. I waited for her to come back.
Sam, can I talk to you in private, please?
The elf is Kristen Koshel.
Jacob, your phone?
She actually retired from acting.
Yes, of course. I'll wait right here.
Not because of this movie, though.
Sam, why are you listening to this guy? We talked to the professor. He said that all those weird books belong to Jacob.
Professor's a liar.
Lucy, please, keep it down. Look, I'm not stupid, okay? You think I haven't thought of all this before? I know you care, but let me do this my way.
Okay? I just want to help, okay?
Thanks.
I really wanted to write a moment where
I don't like him either.
they
And I always
acknowledge
think that he's partially telling the truth.
that things could go bad, that things
I'll
are
show you
weird,
guys
that things are suspicious. Because there's so many horror movies where people just blunder into it and you go, why isn't this ringing any alarm bells for you? My homage to the classic edit in Lawrence of Arabia. Except instead of a match, it's a book. And instead of a sun, it's a tree.
Are you okay? You sure you want to do this? Yeah. Feeling it too.
Funny how in a group of four, someone can still manage to be the fifth wheel. All right, everybody be careful. It's a bit slippery. This tunnel just comes out the other side of the street. There's a smaller one about halfway through. It leads out to the others that will take us to the reservoir. There's a few different ways to go, but shouldn't take us more than half an hour. Check out the whole thing and loop back.
I hope it works out for people, but I really wanted to give the sense that they were not just going into a tunnel, but walking into a dream. The kind of the weird transitions and strange noises. So here we have the real tunnel. And you can see these are openings, like that square there, just openings from the street so stuff can flood down. This next shot, they're actually just ducking under a piece of styrofoam painted to look like concrete. We put a pan on the ground and filled it with some water and tin foil so it bounced sunlight and reflect the ripples up at them.
Yeah.
And then I just walked into this tunnel and then we make the transition into the set. So this was shot in my garage. And again, there's a pan with tin foil and water just being sloshed around underneath them.
This is it?
That's a miniature.
You only have to crawl down a few feet, and we'll be out in the next tunnel over. You'll be able to stand up.
So we cut to another place. We just do back and forth from the miniature to the actual tunnel set that they're crawling in.
You think she might be lost in here?
Not a chance. If you just keep walking, they'll just come straight out the other side.
He wasn't there that day, so I had to
There's
shoot
only
him
one tunnel
separately.
that goes into a second tunnel, and it goes in a circle. I'm not entirely sure of its function, really, but that's where your sister was doing her chalk drawings.
So we didn't have an opening in the large tunnel, so I literally had them just squat down and stand up for the next cut, so it looked like they were coming up out of the tunnel.
Oh, wow. Not cool. What is that smell anyways? Is this a sewer?
It's a wash. When it rains, this is where the runoff from the streets go. Or under the streets. Isn't that right?
I'm glad there are some details about this you're able to grasp.
So fun writing a character who's a dick. There was only one wall, and then the rest was green screen, so I did the rest of the cave. And all the flashlights, to make them look more interesting, because they didn't read very well on camera, I motion tracked every single one and added extra flare and anamorphic, that line that stretches across the screen. We weren't shooting anamorphic, but it just kind of adds more interest. I wasn't trying to be J.J. Abrams.
Nightmares about places like this when I was a little girl.
I had that nightmare too.
This is a Scooby-Doo scene where they're just walking, looking around. So again, we had one wall. So to make it look like they're walking in a tunnel, we'd do shot reverse against the same wall. We'd have
So Noah,
those two walk one way, and then we would have them walk the other way along the wall with the other actor.
sorry it had to be during all of this.
And just keep having them walk back and forth across this one wall. And intersperse it with...
I'm glad I could help.
This tickles my claustrophobia. Awesome.
Oh yeah?
And then we just cut in the miniatures to show their point of view. We do a lot of point of view shots to hide the cuts with the
I'm
miniatures.
not gonna hide anything from my boyfriend. And besides, he's a modern man.
Yeah, I think it's great if you still want to be friends.
Thanks. I felt bad. I mean, I know that you guys are just getting started and me being the ex and all.
This poor guy.
Well, I admit it might have been a bit different if you were a dude. But,
Hey,
you
what's
know,
that?
He knows deep down he's being dragged along to try and make the ex jealous.
It's like the one Sylvia was pointing at in the video.
Jacob?
Sounds a bit off.
Jacob, can you come take a look at this?
Yeah, the lip sync is off.
Yeah.
That could be an online issue.
Yeah, I think so, because it plays fine. It's playing fine on my screen. I'm just seeing it on our screen.
What'd you find?
There's an eye drawn on the ceiling.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, you're missing the jackass, someone like me, who would say, do you mean the letter I? Because that's what I would do
I mean, it was just there.
in that given situation.
I'm sure it is. There are a lot more drawings right down here. Come on. Let's where the other tunnel.
Don't worry about the way I'm saying it really creepy like. Yeah, I don't know if I want to go. Okay, you can see it in their face. It's like, I don't think I like this guy.
He was so much fun. And Matt, who I'm working with again, is such a sweet...
Oh, the nicest people
Yeah.
play the creepiest in film.
He had so much fun being this character, though.
Now, are you adding that lens flare, or is that actually occurring in camera?
I'm adding it. Just helps create more visual interest.
Sure, JJ. No problem.
All the graffiti on the walls, too, is added in post
She
as
kept
well.
herself busy.
Because I needed to keep the walls clean for other shots, because we just
All
keep
the way
reusing
around
these
that
tunnels
place.
over and over again. So all of these are illustrations that I did separately and then composited in and had to roto.
That is really well done.
Thank you. All the actors were so trusting because there was so much on the day on the sets that they were not seeing. Like Val here was shot on a separate day.
Is that the professor coming out?
Yeah.
Waving him over? Okay.
Yeah, just a dude just coming out of a random wash tunnel and no worries. That's
Hi,
totally normal.
I'm David Lynch. Follow me.
I have this habit of making actors wear like full suits in like 99-degree days. We just did that last weekend with another shoot with again with Val and Matt and a couple of other people. So again, these are miniatures that I interspersed because you don't make the actors wait around while you just shoot stuff.
On a page. We only think we're moving because they're turning the pages.
Is that something written on the wall?
Yeah.
Hey, there's more over here.
Now, this one is available on Tubi right now, right?
It's available on Tubi, yes. Tubi, Filmzy, and Amazon Prime. They're also available subtitles in other languages.
Hold on a second.
I wish I knew. This doesn't seem like Sylvia at all. She was always so put together. I was always the mess.
It's funny how many visual effects shots are in this that no one will ever even think of as visual effects shots, like the graffiti.
You're just different. I told you this before. You just hold yourself to all these unreasonable standards.
What is it? Are you okay? Something touched my leg.
Was it a snake? Are there snakes around here?
I've seen some geckos around.
It was too big to be a gecko.
Oh dear. Look at them. It's like no time has passed at all.
Okay, you just got to ask the question, Chris.
Town now before they go back to their old
Yeah.
ways.
That's not how it is.
But
Yes, it is on Tubi.
You just need to have the backbone to be the man.
He struggled with that smile, and he's like, "Let me do that again." I was like, "No, the way your mouth trembled, so creepy."
Sylvia! I saw Sylvia!
Sylvia? Sylvia, come back!
Yeah, he's giving off that I'm not a serial killer vibe. Honest, I'm not.
It's like having trouble humaning. See, that's this shot I love. Looking down that tunnel, that's a miniature, and we didn't have a lot of length of miniature tunnel, so I actually painted
Just went around in a circle.
a tunnel going off into nothing and put it at the end.
But yes, this detour is not here last time.
Don't be ridiculous. You can't tell us that you haven't seen a whole other tunnel.
And it's dark, so
Quite a few times, and I've noticed everything.
it tricks the eye.
This was not.
Guys. What's that sound?
Yeah, enough exposition. Let's get to the monsters.
There you go, Chris.
Well, there's a road above us. I mean, there's bound to be noises, right?
Oh, I remember you telling me how you did this when you were doing it.
I suggest we don't go back the way we came. Come on. I'll take what's behind.
Did I just see some rotoscoping there?
No.
Oh.
This is that is a projection map.
Okay.
Which is because I wanted the door at the end and I couldn't do forced perspective, so I had to photograph the tunnel, do a projection map.
You did this.
So it's a little, the transition's a little clunky.
Stop it!
Hello? Just a moment. But I don't like people putting their hands on me.
Once your little puppy dog here is ready to hear me
Man,
out,
his pupils are full blown there. You must have been in some low light.
What do you say?
Yeah, we had
Are you ready to listen to
all
reason?
the windows taped off, and
Yeah. Very good.
Just some shadow effects going across the screen.
yeah, I actually put
how many
ink
drugs
in
you've ever
water
done,
and then
but I can't think of a
superimposed
single one
it
that makes you jump from underground to a house, turn day into night.
to try and maybe give the sense that maybe
I've
they
done
didn't see
all
it, but
sort
we
of
as the
crazy
audience
shit.
do.
Nothing like this ever happened.
It's true, but I feel weird. If we're not drugged, what the hell is going on?
Magic, quantum physics, bit of both.
It's bullshit. Okay, that is bullshit. Right? You know what I think? I think you slipped us something. I think we're back here because we're coming down off of something. You're trying to get under our skin like you did with our sister.
Sister.
It's okay.
Sorry, I heard Darth Vader there.
Come over here.
One of the things I really enjoyed was putting all the statuary in the scenes to make it look like
Minutes, okay?
maybe
Let's just all calm down and we'll figure it out.
they were being watched by them, like they're perceived as statues just because they're on a higher dimensional plane. I don't know, maybe.
In this place. I gotta take a leak.
So this is the part of the movie where I really wanted to kind of get into, you know, the idea of the original Young quote. It's like people, I think, and I'm not sure, but I think these people are perceiving each other through their own reductionist lens. I wonder if any of these characters are actually doing or behaving the way that we're seeing them, but rather how they're perceiving each other. Like the character of Noah, the tag-along boyfriend, you're going to see in a moment that, you know, his brain is breaking, and these whatever other entities that are approaching him and everyone else from another dimension are doing so in a place where they're things that they're not aware of in themselves, but are being get played out to the max because of the fact that they're in this weird underground dimension.
Sometimes I just feel like jacking off. I mean, Jack Nicholson. Sorry.
I knew where you were going with that.
I knew you were going, that you knew I was. Oh, wow. Little Tom Cruise eyebrow there. Look at that.
Matt's good. I don't know why this guy isn't on TV or in the movies all the time. He's my Johnny Depp. If I'm Tim Burton, he's my Johnny Depp.
There you go. No, he's good. He's doing a good job. I got to be honest with you. You know, you picked some good actors for, like, when. Oh wow, that's yeah. That's not normal, man. You see that outside your window? You need to be seeking help. Your average B movie actors are usually really B movie to C movie actors. You actually managed to find somebody, and I'm assuming they're local near you.
Casting local is very difficult. Paula, who plays Lucy, with the long brown hair, she came from Houston. Matt's here in Austin. Kristen came from Houston as well. Jordan came from up north.
You look better.
Val's here in Austin.
You feel better, right?
But I always felt that she's up to no good as well. She's trying to take advantage of her ex-girlfriend's fragile state. And she is in a fragile state.
No. No. What was that?
I'm sure there's some kind of commentary here about what happens when beta male types find unhealthy outlets. Subliminal voices, by the way, put on by Indiegogo contributors. And the tentacles were supplied by Studio ADI, who did the Alien franchise and Tremors and Starship Troopers and Harbinger Down. This is a favorite shot of mine. Oh, and the tentacles. I thought you said. He's starting to understand how to work the extra dimensions. Or maybe he understood before.
No? Are you okay? We need to get out of here. There's something out back.
It's not all that. It's everywhere.
No? No?
Tesseract. Oh, that's that shot you talked about. Yeah.
Oh, someone managed to sync it up with Tubi. That's awesome.
Lucy. Sorry.
Got a shout out to Jenna Green, who did a lot of the makeup as well. I hope you guys are catching some of the subliminal imagery too.
I need to introduce you to Brittany Greer, special effects makeup artist, friend of Keith's and mine. She's very good.
Yeah, I'd love to. Jenna was on Face Off Season 4, the sci-fi makeup challenge show. But she left early because she had a tumor in her hand. And there's a Studio ADI tentacle. Jenna dressed that as well.
Don't. You gotta help it. You can't.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Lucy.
That's right. Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday. So when she gets choked, it's two people, one hand for either side of the camera because one person couldn't reach around. So a lot of reverse photography here. Of course, I added a few more tentacles in post. This is what happens when you give money to OnlyFans. Here's a miniature. And cut to the set.
Now we see.
Shut up. Oh my God.
Oh. Lucy, it'll be okay. It's just like you said. We'll get through this.
Why did that happen to him?
I don't know.
I love Face Off. I still watch on all the episodes are on the Sci-Fi app, and I watch them on repeat with my wife at
I
night.
don't know if it's going to be that easy.
One down.
I don't want to die in here.
Penny got hit with a commercial.
I can survive a week.
On Tubi.
Don't worry about
Yeah.
lost
Yeah.
our minds later.
If you now, it's really weird because I have Amazon Prime, and when you look up your film, it says 0
Lost our minds.
for rental.
Yeah.
But when you actually go to the page, you have to go through a process to get that.
Oh, weird. Yeah, Amazon will be commercial free. Tubi and Filmzy, it's what they call AVOD, advertising video on demand. It's how I make my money, so you know.
Mr. Rath,
Oh, I caught something.
why don't you come on out and we can talk? I don't mind following you down here if you can show me something I haven't already seen. But I don't like it if you're hiding from me.
Nice, actual trigger discipline.
Val is a Val has several guns and goes to the range often. This is my homage to the vampire brides of the Francis Ford Coppola version of Dracula.
Great moment, by
Yeah.
the way, in that film.
Again, asking an actress to do something like this, she's really got to trust you, and she was really great. She really threw herself into it.
We are one of many angles. This is the place with angles. Do read and understand. I don't know why I ask, except that this is the angle. But you are not the angle that answers. But the angle
Thanks, Martin.
answers.
Yeah. So the behind the scenes in that link that Martin just provided are really just meant for the Indiegogo supporters, but I got them for you guys too. I'll eventually make them public.
Can't never trust creepy girls on the ceiling.
Anima, please don't ever do that to me. That would be a terrible prank.
Going this way? I mean, isn't this the way where that thing came from?
Did nobody notice the crayfish?
The tunnel.
I did.
Oh, that thing had angles.
Very cool.
But so far, we've just been going straight.
It was
Excuse me.
crawdad season
Follow it.
here at our local supermarket, so I picked a bunch up. And I don't eat crayfish, so I just used one in a couple
What's
of
it look like
shots,
ahead
and
of
then I released them into the
You
creek,
see any turns coming
so they
up?
got a reprieve.
Jesus. I'm afraid to shine my light all the way down there. I mean, who knows what we can find? I don't know if I can handle
That's what she said. Yeah.
All the same, it's better to see what's coming ahead of time before it smacks you in the face.
And people have asked me why she's laughing right after her boyfriend died. I think that's not so much a continuity mistake, but speaks to her personality.
Oh, hi, Peter Vickman, Fanside. How are you doing today?
Oh, nice.
A lecture by Professor Rathbone. I suggest we pick up the pace before we suffer a fate worse than death.
This situation really needs the Ghostbusters, actually.
Oh, but it's funny when you make penis jokes.
I gotta say, a lot of the music in this I got from freesound.org. There's a lot of great people posting stuff. Oh, here's a miniature. So there was no actual opening in the live set, so we had to keep cutting to the miniature. They looked down at nothing, and then we cut to this. That's part miniature, part set.
No, don't do that. We need to go up, not down.
So it's a miniature. So there's a lot of cutting back and forth from the live action sets
We'll
to
have to take your grievances up with them.
the miniatures to create this scene. Because I couldn't build anything that had holes in the floor. Nor could I build anything that they actually have to climb down. So really what all you're seeing here, and if you look, you'll see there will be some tells, but we essentially had them crawling on the floor pretending they're climbing down, and we flipped the image so that gravity didn't apply. And then we could stand up the set. There was a way we could stand it up and get in there with the camera. So there were times where the actors were just standing on the ground. But all of this, they're just literally like sliding around on their backs or crawling around, pretending to hang on. And it's... I stole this. I mean, I was inspired by Dark Star, the John Carpenter film with Dan O'Bannon, where they had a scene in an elevator shaft where they did the same thing. They had Dan O'Bannon, who was acting, just lying down, pretending to hang on for dear life. Here's a cool monster moment. As a creature puppet that Jenna Green created, that we named Mildred. Use some visual effects enhancements to make it look like it was more slimy and moving its mouth. For the scene of her falling, I literally just had her doing jump squats in the tunnel, and I just cut them all together so it looked like she was falling. Oh, we spelled Mildred with D-R-E-A-D, like dread. Mildred. So here's Sylvia.
I just got a content warning from Twitter for sharing. Are you fucking kidding me?
For sharing this?
For sharing, I wrote, I can tell you that all our friends should be covering and sharing. See Moonlight Films' next film, Escape from Planet Omega 12, found here. I give the link to your,
it keeps
campaign.
doing...
And then I tagged Bleeding Fool, Midnight Suns, Bounding into Comics, Iron Age Media, and Cosmic Book News. And then I get a warning. We put a warning on this tweet because it might have sensitive content.
I appealed. That happened to me too. I think it's just because of the character's outfit being skimpy. But I appealed it and they took it off.
Yeah, but it's not visible on the tweet. So it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, it's weird. Some of the stuff I've seen posted on Twitter that doesn't have a content warning, I don't get it at all.
No, this is ridiculous. I said there is no nudity or coarse language in this tweet. So I, of course, appealed it. They're assholes, man.
Yeah.
I swear to God. That you can outright put fucking porn on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
And they don't fucking do shit. But I post something that has nothing in it, but they maybe don't like.
This scene is, they're kind of switching. I kind of imagine this is something from their past that they're re-experiencing back and forth. Their breakup, when she explains, you can't hear what she's saying, but she's essentially explaining, like, look, I've been young, I've been wild, I want to try and get my life together, and that future doesn't include you in it. And she's not accepting it. But one of the interesting things about this, which I didn't realize at the time, for some reason, this is by my neighborhood. This pathway wasn't in the script originally. Thanks, deleted scenes. I really appreciate that. There's some really cool, this is practical effects stuff. There's no CGI in this. But
isn't this a special moment? You know you're wrong about one thing.
Well,
Jacob?
I'll come back to the path.
Because it already has happened. It still happened.
Got monsters now.
This holds true even now that you're breaking apart into possibilities rather than a singular reality.
Why are you touching that thing?
Phrasing.
Oh, she seems to like it more than that. I'm thinking some might call this a hound of $10. I don't expect you to know the reference. I think a better name for you to call would be Gerry.
Baby boobs.
Why don't you get to know him?
It's just fun to make this puppet with the snapping mandibles. How'd that gun get there? It's a detective's gun.
Lucy?
Now, this is about to be one of my favorite practical effects shots that I'm really proud of.
Stay where you are. I'm coming for you.
Funny thing about this movie is that even though I'm the one that made it, every time I watch it, I see new things in it. War Monkey. I do regret not having more monkeys.
I War Monkey. You regret what?
Not having more monkeys in this movie.
Yes, I concur.
I was so stupid. Get it together like my sister, but I was so wrong.
So the interesting thing about this cast is that Kristen Kochel, who plays Sam, the main character, and Sylvia, actually is in real life a lesbian. She's married to a woman. And she said to me when she read the script, she's like, how do you write lesbian women so well? She's like, this really is like things that I've experienced in my own life with relationships and breakups and that sort of thing. I said, well, I tried to think of her as a human being and not just like so many other shows and movies do, not just as like a prop or a gimmick for a movie. If you treat them like human beings and write them like human beings, then they're going to go through the same journey as anyone else.
Whoa, hold on.
Great freak out face, by the way. She's got the eyes for it.
I don't understand. How did all this happen? Is this like some science experiment? I didn't see any equipment. All there are is these symbols. This isn't science. It's more like black magic.
I was hoping you could tell me.
Homage to Bride of Frankenstein with that line.
Back there, you said your name was Sam. Now, forgive me, but unless all the records are incorrect, your name is Sylvia Carroll. You're a graduate student.
That's my sister. I only told you about her a few hours ago. Remember?
No, you didn't. We've never met before. Except, I think I saw you in one of those tunnels down there.
So now I'm wondering,
That was Sylvia.
still, even though I'm the one that created this movie, why doesn't he remember her?
You came to Jacob's house and asked for me.
Is he a different version? Or is she misremembering things? Or is it just a conflict of experiences?
And they were trying to find out where to find you.
I mean, what does it mean? What does all this
I'm sure
mean?
we can get this all figured out. But we're not going to be able to until we get out of here. We're disoriented. We're hallucinating. It must be some kind of gas. That would explain this horrible smell.
What? No. You haven't seen what I've seen. These aren't hallucinations.
Either way, we still have to get out of here. I can't call for backup through all this concrete, and we can't go looking for other people without getting hopelessly lost.
How hard could it be to find them, even if we are a few hundred feet in the tunnel? Even if we are tripping out?
The answer to that is I don't know. Either way, it would be wise to get some proper rescue units down here.
Either that or a Japanese energy drink.
What about Jacob?
I drink Japanese. Hold on, I was reading it.
I told you we were disoriented. We must have walked back the way we came, thinking that. Okay.
Still think we're disoriented?
Whatever I am, I hope someone has found me and put me in a nice, comfy little hospital bed.
Interesting thing, Val, This is where I met Val, because James Hudnall was helping out with this movie, who used to be a editor at Malibu Comics.
Are these flashing lights?
And we had another
Is this just
actor
in
for
my
this
head?
role, and he ditched out. So I sent the script to Val on a Friday, and he showed up on a Sunday and knocked out most of his parts.
Protons.
He didn't even really have real time to prepare.
Radiation shooting through our brain, making the synapses misfire. Don't ask me how I know that.
So this bench, this stone bench here, which is a miniature here,
Mm-hmm.
I was on a walk in my neighborhood and I saw this bench from a distance. And I was like, why is there a stone bench on the sidewalk? We don't have a bus stop here or anything. Did a neighbor just put it out? So I'm walking with my dog and we get closer and closer to it. And as we get closer to it, it changes into a patch of grass and stains on the sidewalk. It was just this weird optical illusion that I saw at night. And so I put it in the movie, and that's where the cube that he drew on the table comes from as well. That equation equals what's on her shirt, by the way. But I was never able to recreate the optical illusion on any other walk. So now she's in the silent film dimension. So I hope everybody likes trippy films. Some moments I think were inspired by the trippy stuff in Dune. You see these kind of weird priest puppets? You can't see them very well, but they're originally going to be featured much more. But Stranger Things came out at the time of making this with the Demigorgon, and underneath these cloaks, these things look almost exactly like the Demigorgon.
Miss Carol.
And we talked about that on my live stream, Gary. I know you remember that.
Yep.
You did an anatomical breakdown of them. So here's
When I wake up from this crazy
Sam
dream, I'm
in a
just
cubist
out
form
with
sitting
that
on the
stuff.
bench.
Your whole life has been a dream, detective. You're just a fleeting figment in the imaginings of gods. A dream of higher beings than yourself. Looking for this? Don't look so upset, detective. It's just a little trick I figured out. You see, in their presence, you can move more than just through space. You can
Just tell me what you want, asshole.
Very well. I want you to see that you're not nearly as big as you thought you were. You who has moved through life being the big man, the man with power. I want you to see that it was all an illusion. And now, in this place, I'm now. Because I have the ability to understand true reality.
There is a through line to this movie. It's not all just supposed to be confusing, weird stuff just for the sake of being confusing and weird. But I wanted to make a movie that was
To be a part of
like
But why should I?
a dream you would wake up from and then want to discuss it with people in the morning,
I'd much rather just
over
watch you
coffee,
die.
or you go into work and you go, I had this weird dream. What do you think it means? And then kind of try and decipher what it means. But I did use
Sam? Sylvia?
Jungian,
right
you know,
now?
from the theories of the psychology of Carl Jung, who was not a disciple, but a protege of Freud. I decided to use his archetypal theories as a language for this. So if
A
you
lot
know
of people
more about,
don't know that Jung is the one who did the full research on dream analysis.
Yeah.
And Freud's adaptation is based on what Jung discovered. He was his protege and he treated him like he was his son. But Jung was more interested in the paranormal. he considered humans not psychosexual but psychospiritual.
Yeah, and that was where they parted ways in their
In a very ugly way. 'Cause
yeah.
I depicted in my script for Jung.
She's been shown a film strip. She's being shown reality as a film strip because a character in a story, the story is their reality. We as the readers or the viewers are like gods. We're existing outside of it, looking inside.
What happened?
And we're able to turn the pages backwards and forwards or rewind or fast forward. And everything they experience is locked in, just like the theory that time is locked in. And so like Dr. Manhattan, who can see back and forth in it at any moment in time, he has that power, but nobody else does.
Hell out of here.
I don't know if I do.
But the gods that they're interacting with, they do.
All of us.
And maybe those gods are not gods, but viewers.
Detective.
All of us?
Here's my tribute to Ray Harryhausen's Kali coming up. Or was it Kali? I think it was, with the swords, the 6 arms.
Yeah, it was Kali.
Yep.
Yes, they were very different. Jung and Freud were very different.
They traversed over some of the same territory, which is why they worked together so well early on. But Freud was so caught up in being finally accepted by the medical community that when Jung started talking about these other theories, Freud freaked out and thought, you're going to destroy everything I've worked for to get us accepted.
Yeah, I think Jung was more on the right track than Freud.
Yeah, I agree.
And all the surrealists that I love, like Salvador Dali, for example, they all based their vocabulary off of Freud, which worked. It created beautiful paintings, but I wanted to push past Freud and go into Jung. Although there is probably a lot of Freudian stuff in here, I mean, I don't know. I couldn't point any out to you if I were to, but I'm sure it's there if you look for it. It's behind you, isn't it?
That's a giant vagina, if you look for it. Prove me wrong, Chris. I dare you.
The funny thing is so much of this, if you start putting yourself in the mindset of psychology, it happens without you trying. They just present.
Well, that's
themselves.
also Jungian. Jungian talked absolutely about the subconscious self.
Yeah, and a lot
less
of
about the id and more about how we think in archetypical ways in our brain, which is why we dream the way we do.
Well, if you open yourself up to it, and I really did making this movie, it just starts to happen. And it's a very strange experience because it no longer feels like you're making the movie. It makes you feel like...
Here's your gun back, detective.
It makes you feel like you're channeling something. And I tried to be very open to that. And yeah, the result is something very strange, but I don't think, again, this movie isn't just weird for the sake of weird. I think it's something that if you watch it and you try and look at it as if it's your dream, and that this was the goal. This isn't my dream. This is a dream that I made for anybody in the audience. It's going to mean different things to different people.
Well, you're also doing something with these visuals. This is almost every single visual in this film so far is similar to a dream state.
Oh yeah, I really wanted that.
And you had a lot of archetypes in here.
Oh, yeah, deleted scenes. I love The Void.
I like The Void too, and Hellraiser.
Yeah, Hellraiser is great. Clive Barker's a big influence on me as well.
The first three Hellraisers were my favorites.
Yeah. I am interested in this new one too. Against my better judgment, but I am. This is a miniature. All these miniatures were created by Heather Lowe, by the way, who's a good friend of mine from I've known her since she was 17. I was a teenager at the time, by the way. And she does doll houses and stuff for her girls, and she loves horror movies and budget movies and things like Peter Jackson's first movies and Evil Dead. And I said, would you like to make the miniatures for me? And she knocked it out of the park. I'll just note that the meat grinder teeth in these are also the seats that she was sitting on in the silent film dimension. There's a great miniature shot coming up in a second that's my tribute to The Shining. Except it's done with water instead of blood. For this is the miniatures, but I actually shot water. I went to a pond and shot water and rotoed and motion tracked it into these shots. I always wondered what this thing was. Jenna came up with it, and it really resonated with me. And I put it in the film, and I have to wonder if it's some sort of womb or fetus. But I'm not sure. But it really troubles her to see, and she runs from it pretty quick. I mean, who wouldn't, but...
How puzzling all these changes are. I'm never sure what I'm going to be from one minute to another.
Quote from Alice in
I
Wonderland.
figured out who you are. No more confusing the two of you for me. You really have just been plain old Sam the whole time. But you could be so much more. Both of you could.
What do you mean?
Oh, come on. After everything that's happened, you can't tell me you haven't figured it out. Since you've come down here, you've known things you never did before. You've understood things you were never capable of understanding on the surface. You've been looking for your sister, and you've been your sister. Because down here, every single possible reality is so.
So what?
So what? So don't you think you should be considering what opportunities that offers you? You can become one with the gods. You can know. Be what they are.
What makes you think we'd want that?
Foolish girl. They never know what they have until they don't.
If you don't take him literally at what he's saying,
Of course you want it. That's why you left everything else behind and came to me.
is he being unreasonable?
Deep down, you know that you'll never be what you should until you're joined with something greater.
Not really. No.
I'm already joined with something greater than myself.
That's okay.
Because sometimes some people who are trying to talk sense into us are, perceived as the bad guy. And again, is this really what's happening, or is this how people are perceiving things? And how do a lot of people treat others who are trying to tell them something they might not want to hear? Or then again, maybe he is the bad guy. So we reach the end of the path. And at the end of the path is a tree. But there's a flash of something of the tree.
It's all start over again.
Sorry, what'd you say?
I don't want to get flagged for the song. So
that's the end.
Thank you. Thanks, Sean.
Very good, man.
And yeah, so she ended up right back where she started, which in itself, I think, I mean, that might say something about, I don't know, never getting anywhere until we learn something about ourselves and what to change. I don't know. I'm not sure. Every time I think I have it nailed down, no, they didn't murder any. Oh, maybe they did. Actually, you know. Thanks, Kingsworld. Yeah, you know. And yeah, you know, I'm not quite sure anybody died. That's the other thing as well. You never see Detective Richie get shot. And really, Noah, he had that tentacle coming out of his chest, but that creature that attacked at the end had a tentacle, an over-enlarged tentacle. So maybe it was Noah mutated. But every time I think I've got this movie nailed down, like what have I created? I watch it again and I see something new in it, which, you know, Gary, I know you understand this, is what happens when you kind of open yourself up to that, that way of thinking, that Jungian vocabulary. You kind of give yourself over to it. Or it's like, I don't know, laying down in a river, turn off your mind and relax and float downstream. So,
oh yeah, you know, John Lennon on acid. Yeah, it's a great song.
Tibetan, actually, it's based on Tibetan Book of the Dead, which I tried to read and I couldn't get through it. And then I got it on tape and I started to listen to it and I'm going like, why is this voice so familiar? And it was Richard Gere reading it. So
I think my favorite cover of that song is Phil Collins.
Did he do a cover of that? Really?
Yeah, on his first album.
That is, well, thank you. I'm seeing the comments that everyone liked it, and it, you know, it was a hallucination, but it was also real. Funky Jeebus. It's a they were experiencing something, I believe, in this movie. They were definitely really real. You know Heather Lowe? Really? That is so cool. Yeah, she's a longtime friend. yeah, my thing on this is like, I don't like it was all a dream, or it was all, it wasn't real. I think they were really experiencing interdimensional beings, but those beings were, not interacting with you like someone from our plane would. By interacting with them, they're bringing out all the things within us and externalizing them. But again, I'm theorizing on something I wrote. I'm not even sure myself, but I think by bringing all that stuff out, it alters perception. So everyone we're interacting with, we're not seeing them as they really are. We're seeing them, based on the quote that I put at the beginning. We're seeing them as they, thanks, Sean, Estep. I had trouble saying that. Appreciate it. We're seeing them as what people are, people become reductionary in their perception of things. And then they take that, turn it into assumptions, and then project it on people around them. So if somebody says something to you, you're going to interpret that based on your projections. And that's not always correct. And it's not always fair to the people that you're doing it to.
No, in fact, personally, I get really frustrated with people when they make assumptions about me.
Yeah.
And it's like, if that's really what you think, you do not understand me at all, which is why I always make it clear that there's only a handful of people I think really understand me. Jim Woodward is one of those people, because I've known him since I was a boy, and he's gotten into my head, like, because that's what we would do. We'd sit and just talk like that. And
you can never fully know someone completely. We're always going to have our internal struggles and
well, though, it's the reductive nature of people that frustrates me, is that they want to reduce you to this thing that they think you are. And it's like, I prefer people who are open to the idea that one, as unpredictable as I am predictably unpredictable. So if you predict that I'm going to do something unpredictable, you have taken the first step into understanding me.
Well, the thing about projection, like I said, reductionary projection is I've found, and this has been my experience with a lot of people, is they've already decided what you're going to think about something. And we see this on social media all the time.
Yeah.
This group of people is going to think, they're just going to take one look at this and react this way. And they've already dismissed them. And I have people in my life, friends and family, who have done that to me. Oh, Christopher's going to think this way. And I was like, no, I'm not. Or they'll, it's like, oh my God, any conversation, there's a particular member of my family, won't out anybody, but they just swear up and down that I watch Fox News every day and that I'm going to think certain ways about things.
Very reductive.
Yeah. And it just drives me crazy because I never watch any cable news ever. I just don't. And B, the conclusion they've drawn about what I'm going to think based on the first conclusion isn't anything like I actually think. They've just projected two complete falsehoods on me, and then I can't have a conversation with them because they're not listening to anything I'm actually saying. They're just taking the parts of it that sound like they affirm what they've already projected.
Part of the reduction thing, because I just ran into it last night, and I blocked somebody on Twitter, because I invite people to discuss with me. If they don't agree with me, I'm fine with it. What I don't like is when somebody is offhandedly dismissive or reductive in what they're saying. And the person immediately, the very first thing they said, and I was mocking them in my first post, because they were demanding that I give them my source. And I'm like, why are you following me? I'm like, if you don't dig what we're saying here on this channel, why are you following?
Or if you disagree with it, at least do it so in a way that is like, I'm experiencing another point of view to consider.
Yeah, because I'm always okay with that. If somebody goes, well, I just don't see that from what I'm getting, this is how I perceive this. That's where I get interested in talking to somebody. When they come in and go, well, what you're thinking is stupid, and it's part of this one group of mind think. And it's like, if there's one thing you cannot call me guilty of, is being, groupthink. I'm not part of any groupthink. I don't think like other people. I don't agree with a lot of the people who think they agree with me.
Well, in the Quantum Terror, what I think is the downfall of these characters is that they're all in their own heads, their own point of views. And the fact that the way that Jacob, the character who generally comes off as the asshole, is perceived. Some people may perceive him as an asshole. Some might just perceive him as blunt. Lucy, who's brought along this boyfriend, he's obviously gone in with some expectations that he is not fulfilling, that are probably not healthy, but he's also not able to in a healthy way express them. So he's being walked all over. So everybody's kind of, and Lucy's there for Sam, but Sam has already made it clear that she's trying to do something else now. But so all the characters in their own way are thinking of themselves about what they want, and they're kind of projecting onto each other what they want to perceive. This is how I interpret it.
Well, that's a problem with so many relationships, is people, when they fall for somebody, they project what they think rather than what they're actually receiving. And it's a problem. So yeah, I get it. By the way, here, I'm going to play this for you. You should be able to hear this. This is the final song on the album for Face Value.
I don't hear anything. Nothing.
Oh, you're not hearing it?
No.
Nope.
Let me just bring it up, because usually it allows me to share. So share screen, share. Chrome tab, Phil Collins, audio. Now it's going to be a douche. Complete fucking douche. Fuck you, internet. It's like, oh, I'm trying to get there. Oh, give me a second. And we got the latest updates. It's just
and exactly Monkey Jeebus. Yeah.
What's that?
Oh, what he posted below. Social media extremists will stalk your account for anything they can claim is problematic and act like they have a superior understanding of life. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely correct. Here you go. Try this again.
It's not on Letterboxd. Sorry, deleted scene.
Are you hearing it?
Yeah.
I love his drums on this.
I was gonna say, you gotta let. He's such a percussionist.
It's a really good cover. Very fond of that song.
He's a great drummer. It's funny. One of my favorite things about the Beatles is Ringo's drumming. He's just such a creative drummer, and I think Phil Collins really taps into that.
Well, he gets shit on a lot in percussion. It's like Ringo had two things going for him. He was a steady drummer. Now, when I say that, I mean his time signature stays really relative and doesn't change from the beginning, because most drummers have a problem of speeding up as they go along.
Well, not only that, but they don't have the going off into the reeds a little bit, because I'm a huge Beatles fan. But Ringo, like you say, he's a great timekeeper. Yeah. And there's something about that really just, when you get it, and he's very disciplined. He doesn't go off into all these crazy solos and but he'll come up with beats that are so appropriate and so creative to what the rest of the Beatles have written musically.
Yeah. I agree.
Like the drum, like not the hi-hat, the ride cymbal for I Feel Fine, or the way he used the toms on Come Together. He's always looking for something, but
it's that one in particular, because I really like the dum.
Yeah. He is,
and then goes into a straight right. Boom.
Yeah. He is solid. And I like when I'm waiting on the car line at my kid's school, my younger daughter is a huge Beatles fan, so we're always playing Beatles. It's like Ringo has me drumming with my fingers on the steering wheel. like constantly because those beats are great. Anyway, we're going off into the reads.
The show's over at this point.
Yeah.
We're already over.
But
'Cause I got to get ready for our next show.
Yeah, we do. Well, then in that case, I want to say thank you for everyone, to everyone for checking it out. Thanks for bearing with how bizarre it is and appreciating it. It really, Escape from Planet Omega 12 is not going to be this weird. Trust me. This was like getting all the huge horror movie weirdness out of my system. So I'm going to move on to other things, but I'm glad people appreciated it for what it is. And I am going to go and try and create more now. So, but you know, I'm really grateful for you guys all watching with us and listening to what I had to say about it. And I have a lot more. And if you guys click that link with the behind the scenes, there's some commentary there, some cool stuff of us on set and with the green screens and puppets and all that stuff. So yeah, thanks. This was fun.
Yeah, it was.
Thanks for sharing it with us.
Exactly. Look forward to doing something like this again sometime. But this is the end of the show. This is the end.
The smelly rear end, my friend. That's how the lyrics go, right?
Something like that.
Close enough.
Nobody pays attention to the lyrics of the Doors. But I want to go into my thank yous real quick. Private chat. I'll scroll up. Anima is leaving. I'll see her in a little bit. Hopefully I'll talk to you in between shows, hon. But I want to thank Monkey Jeebus. Thank you. Come again for being here first.
I just read what Monkey Jeebus did too. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Anyway, go ahead.
What did he do?
He said he put a EVS super chat with Indiegogo. So
outstanding.
Thank you. That is huge, man. Thank you so much.
I want to thank Penny for being here. Scott Lewis, Anima, Confused with the Love of My Life, Socks Bulletins, Deleted Scenes, my good friend Stephen, Zax, my friend Kyle, D. Bud Martin, Dr. Dragon, Alitar, Scribe Light, Penny. Wasn't Penny already mentioned? No,
Penny. No, you didn't.
Yeah, she was the second one mentioned. She comes up again. Anima Confuse mentioned again.
That's because I put the names in.
And then Martin did too. Okay.
Yeah.
Socks Bulletin, Deleted Scenes, Zax, D. Bud Martin, Jacob the Critic, Vinzinger, aka El Otaku, aka the Weeb Pillar. I hope I said that right. Zacharot 315, Monkey Jibus, thank you. Come again. Magitech Mags, Kingsport Cow, Sagacious 6, Mighty Max, Sean E. Step, Brightest Day, BRB, have to go give my dog some meds.
That's a weird name.
That's Martin leaving a message. Done. That was fast, thankfully. Martin again. Let's see. Eastland Burkholder, not to be mistaken with Colonel Burkholder from Hogan's Heroes. The awesome Limey Glenn Fleming. I said limey, not slimy. Don't fucking put words in my mouth.
Hello, Limey. Born in England.
Peter Vinkman fan site, War Monkey. And I think we got everybody. Did we get everybody? Did I miss anyone?
No, you got everybody, I think. Sounds like it.
JV?
Yeah, I think that's it. And of course, I want to thank Chris for being here. Thanks a lot, buddy. Thanks for showing your film. Hopefully, we'll because we didn't get ganked during the show, but it doesn't mean we won't get ganked later. So I'm hoping by putting what I put into the description, they will think better than to do that. I want to thank Das Wolfen, John, for being here. I want to thank Martin Acosta Santana for being here too. For being both of you helping with the right side of my brain. It is very, very much appreciated. And then for you, John, in particular, let me find that video for you. There.
Before we begin, would you like to touch my monkey?
There you go. And for all the times backdoor was said during the show.
Like, wouldn't you know that back door would trigger a trap door?
Yeah, buddy. What are you doing?
I was trying to reach for John's head. But...
he's down. He pulled my hair. I think this aptly describes me.
Personified in this case
by a horrible cunt. Me.
There you go. And for the girls, the ladies out in the chat, there you go. Work it out. But we are going to end here and look forward to seeing you guys at 2:00 for, well, in 1 hour and 45 minutes, we'll be doing TGIF. Hopefully Keith has gotten some sleep so we can have a lively show this afternoon. But no matter what, I want to tell you that